Yes, how are you guys doing? I am James. I'm here on this nice Friday. It is, what's the date? September 23rd. Whoa, so we are officially into the fall months. Or what I like to call them, fall months. Yes, so I am with you for a few minutes anyways. I thought I would, I got some ideas for a show. I guess some big news stories have come out lately that have officially rocked my world. So I think I wanted to touch on those things and other things, and just wishing you guys a safe and happy long weekend. No, it's not a long weekend, but it is a weekend that some people have off. So that's pretty sweet. It started making me thinking about that. Like, when I go back to thinking to my working days as a young little boy, I remember I don't think I ever had the weekend off. I don't think I ever did. I really don't. There'd be sometimes I'd get like a Saturday off or a Sunday off or Friday and then Saturday, but then I had to come in at Sunday at, midnight. I've done it all. I swear I have done it all. It's just driving me nuts thinking about all my past career choices or decisions. I was thinking about that. I was like, James, how many different places have you lived in? Or not lived in, but like worked in, right? And I bet you, I started working when I was 14, 15, 13 probably. I remember delivering flyers when I had to be 10 years old maybe. And I used to hate delivering flyers. It was terrible. And I mean, now that I think about it, like, it was a chance to get some money that you didn't have before, right? But I mean, you're getting paid, maybe half a cent a flyer. So say your route was 400 homes. Sometimes you would have more than two flyers. Usually it would be one flyer. You'd hope for a couple of flyers. And it would be one flyer, and you had to deliver maybe 400 is too much, 375 or 250 or something. So you get a check in the mail for like $14. So I mean, like, it wasn't paying the bills, I just remember my buddy Jimmy. He was the first guy who had a job out of all of us. He was a gas station, like a gas jockey at it was like a Husky or a Mohawk, but it was like on a really, like, it was like Monroe and I can't remember where it is. I remember, like, he was the first guy that I knew that had a job, and I thought, like, okay, yeah, you got to work, what's the big deal? But he's like, you get paid for it too, right? So I was like, okay. And then I think my first job was probably at Red Apple. I was given the keys to run the maintenance department or something that was there. I don't know. It was basically, I would just, whatever jobs they wanted me to do, I did. When you really think about it, that's what it was, right? You went to work, you weren't sure what you had to do, but you had to do something, right? So some days it'd be, you got to change the lights, or you got to clean the bathrooms, or you got to do the floors, and I remember, like, working 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Like, when you really think about it, like a 3-hour shift. I don't know what lessons I learned from that. Maybe I learned, like, all jobs should be 3 hours long, right? I mean, it's only fair. I mean, why do you got to go to work for 8 hours? That's one thing I truly never understood about people wanting to work. So, yeah, so that's my story about that. There's a lot going on there. Just take it in, process it. There was one big news story that happened a couple days ago. It's pretty big. I guess apparently Angelina Jolie broke up with Brad Pitt. And it's funny when I think about it. It's like, these people, they just want to live their lives, but they're so interesting that people have to get to know their life, right? Because that's definitely, obviously, what it is. The celebrities are just like us. They're just interesting. Somehow they've done something, made themselves interesting. And I guess they're claiming that he had an affair with her, with Marion Cotillard. I'm sorry, I should pronounce that a little bit better. Yeah, she was in Batman. She was in Oh man, I'm having a brain fart. But she was in a lot of movies. So, and I like to think too at the same time, when someone gets accused of something and they deny it, most chances they are guilty, because why would their name come up out of any other name? You know, it could be anybody. Why would that person's name come up that they were having an affair with that person, right? So probably what happened, unfortunately, this is probably reality. He was working on a set with this girl, and they spent a lot of time together. And you find, even when Brad Pitt left Jennifer Aniston, he was with Angelina Jolie doing that movie that they did together, right? So if someone gets accused of something, there has to be some sort of reasoning for that, because it wouldn't make sense any other way, you know? Like, I don't know. It blows my mind. It really does. It just blows my mind, because you know that there's some truth to it, right? And the spin doctors, you know, are going to spin it in one way or the other. And that's just the thing about celebrities, is they can rise and fall from grace in a second. And it's hard to believe. You really have to screw something up to not be in their life anymore. And that's what it is. Like, we watch movies and we, you know, fall in love with a character, you know, girl or whatever, and you just want to see everything that they do, and then you kind of feel some sort of connection to them, but they don't know you, right? You know, they have no idea who you'd be. So this situation is going to be quite the interesting one, because there's a lot of people involved in this. There's going to be lots of side stories and all this other stuff. And just know that James is here for you. And if you ever need relationship advice, go ask me, because I seem to know what I'm doing. I like to think anyways. So that was a pretty big news story. I don't know. In my opinion, just don't do movies. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I mean, he probably is miserable at home. You know, I know that they got 7 kids. Is that correct? I'm not sure. They got 5, 6, 7 kids. He probably doesn't like to go back home. I mean, yeah, he probably likes spending time with his kids, but all day with Angelina there or whatever. But, I mean, they'll rebound. They'll probably, hopefully, I'm guessing they're going to, like, fight for a little bit, and then they're going to realize, like, this isn't how we're going to do it. You know, this is... You know, so, and then they're going to get back together, but not like in a relationship wise, but they'll be like the couple that can get along after a breakup, and then watch this happens, that Cotillard girl and her and Brad Pitt get together. Could you believe that? If she left her husband to be with Brad Pitt, can you imagine? So someone knew what was going on, right? That's all I have to say about that. Speaking of stuff, it is the box office time. It is the box office preview on the James W. Show. I am your host, James W. So nice to be with you today. So this new week, we have the Magnificent Seven and Storks. Now, if you don't know any of these movies, I don't know either, but I'm being told by my producer there, Steve. Yeah, Steve. So, you know, tell my producer, Steve.
Hello, James. How are you?
Yeah, Steve, stop it. So Steven's having a hard time listening, I guess, or hearing. Anyways, so Magnificent Seven. So we're going back a couple years ago. Oh. I'm just trying to find out what year. 1960. And that starred the great and one and only Steve McQueen. So we're going 56 years, right? 56? Yeah, 1960. We're going 56 years to when the first one was made. So I don't know if their story's better than the old one, but I'm interested to find out. You got Denzel Washington, Chris Pratt. Who else is in there? There's lots of people in it. Ethan Hawke's in it. Peter Sarsgaard. Cam. The guy from the OC, he's in that too. Gigandit. I hated that guy. Oh, he was the worst. Some of you will always ask me, "Hey James, like, what's your favorite show?" And I'll say, "The OC was the best show of all time." People will say why, and I'm like, "Oh, I love the characters, and I liked seeing what was going on there." And the guys would be like, "What are you doing, James?" And I'd be like, "I love that show." And they're like, "Well, there must have been a bad part." And I'll tell you the bad part. The OC failed in season 3 when they brought Johnny into it, and Cam Gigandit, who I forget who he was playing in real life there, or on the show. And then killing off Marissa was probably the worst thing too. So I mean, those two things I think really hurt the show. But that first season was unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. And then secondly, this week we have the movie Storks. Now, I don't think the movie's going to do very good. I don't really find there was a big push for the movie. The story didn't seem very compelling. So I think it's going to fail, to be honest with you. I don't think it's going to do very good. Not a lot of promotion behind it. So we'll see. I could be wrong. I usually am wrong. But those two movies are coming out, and then you got Sully, and you got Suicide Squad, and you got other movies that are still in the theater. So make sure you go check them out and tell them James W. said so. So we're getting close to 13 minutes here. So I'm going to bid you adieu. I just want to say that I'm going to be having a guest on my show next week. His name is Marc Robert, and he's a comedian from Winnipeg. He will be my first guest on my show. I can't wait. I've personally asked for him to be on my show, so we'll talk to you then. And in the meantime, hit me up on Facebook. You can hit me on there, YouTube, The James W. Show. And like my things, comment on things, hate me, whatever you got to do. Don't call me, though. Don't call me. All right, with that said, you guys have a good weekend, and I will see you on the bus tomorrow.